Welcome to the show, guys. Running some errands here today. I'm in the car. You get a special vlog type show here. We are talking must starts here for NFL. Can you believe it? Week 8. We're already in week 8, guys. It's been unbelievable. It's been a crazy year, riddled with injuries and committees and just absolute fantasy football madness. It's been crazy. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about the latest news and notes injuries here on the Saturday, heading into Sunday and Monday, of course. I also want to talk about each position and talk about some of the guys that have the tougher matchups. So it's obvious for me to say, start Pat Mahomes. Mind you, he's got a good matchup this week, heading into NFL Week 8. But you got to know who has the tougher matchups so that if you have two quarterbacks or two wide receivers, you can then make a better executive decision on who to start. So, for example, if you've got DJ Moore and Cooper Kupp at wide receiver, DJ Moore does have the better matchup, just so you know, right? But do you sit a guy like Cooper Kupp? He's playing Dallas, maybe, right? So that's what I want to make you guys aware of, all the guys that have the tougher matchups and get you guys fully ready for this week. All right, guys? Let's start off with the Lou News and Notes here. Before I do, guys, head on over to betr.app, guys. This is the place I play DFS, the best place to DFS. They'll double your first deposit up to $100. Use code FFC. That's betr.app, guys. Head on over there right now. Use code FFC. They'll double your first deposit up to $100 and play some DFS, guys. Dive in, have some fun with DFS with betr.app. I've linked it below as well. Use code FFC, guys. And if you guys are in, DM me. I'm in Better BETR on my DM on Instagram. If I see it, I'll send you my optimal plays for this week as well. So also head over to manscaped.com. Use code ShowerLine20. Treat yourself to anything on the site. Amazing products, guys. ShowerLine20. Try the Lawnmower 5.0. It's got a foil groomer as well. You can trim your back hair, chest hair, and you can shave your balls with the skin safe technology. It's a dual head Lawnmower 5.0. Go treat yourself to anything on the site. Use code ShowerLine20. All right, news and notes here, guys. All right, I got Tyler Lockett listed as questionable. His hamstring is bothering him. Guys, listen, it happens. Hamstrings are all over the place this year. Ankles, hamstrings, crazy. But I think he'll play. Tyler Lockett. Josh Palmer is a game time decision. This is very interesting for Quentin Johnson owners. His knee is bothering him. He shouldn't even be the wide receiver, too. It should be Quentin Johnson as the one. But it is what it is. They're just not feeding the ball. If Palmer's out, which I hope he is out, then Quentin Johnson gets to rise this week. This is his breakout week. They got to feed their first round pick. It's amazing that it's ludicrous that they're even avoiding him this whole time. They got to be feeding him, okay? So Jerome Ford is questionable with an ankle. Watch that situation. Deebo Samuel is out with a shoulder. Deshaun Watson also out with a shoulder. Some shoulder injuries here, guys. Really banging up some players as well. Tyreek Hill, he's got a major hip injury, but he's playing through it somehow, some way. He should have missed, I heard he was going to miss multiple weeks, but apparently he is playing. Obviously, they need him. It's a desperation play for the Dolphins, but Tyreek Hill is playing. David Montgomery, apparently his ribs still bothering him. They haven't confirmed that he's out at the time of this recording, but he should be out though with his ribs. And Jahmyr Gibbs is primed for a great matchup. We'll get to that in a second here, okay? Tannehill is out with an ankle, so you got the Falcons playing the Titans. So Falcons D, which we'll get to defenses at the end. Great matchup, okay? Because I think we got Levis and whoever the other guy, Willis, I think they're going to be splitting time. It's going to be crazy. So something to note there as well, guys, okay? So those are kind of the latest news and notes. Of course, monitor your player, your roster. Check the news on your players. Make sure you guys aren't starting somebody who's injured. Pretty common sense. All right, QBs, guys. This is very important. Let's talk about some of the guys that have tough matchups, just so you're aware. Now, it's obvious. Like I said, Herbert, Mahomes. Mahomes is playing Denver. Man, it's a wild, awesome matchup for him. Jalen Hurts, Herbert, all good matchups. I mean, you got to start your starters, start your consistent quarterbacks, guys. It's obvious, but I want to make you guys aware. Some of the quarterbacks that have tougher matchups. Burrow versus San Fran. So if you've got a better options, maybe you have a Cousins floating around. Even though Cousins is a bad example, he's got a tough matchup. But if you got another quarterback flying around, right, that you might want to start over, a guy like Burrow, go for it because he has a tougher matchup. Just be aware of that. Make those decisions right, okay? Minshew coming off a good week, playing the Saints, tougher matchup. Just be aware of that. Russell Wilson versus I can't even talk today. Saturday, Russell Wilson versus KC, tough matchup. Dobbs, versus Baltimore, tough matchup. Stafford versus Dallas, tough matchup. Cousins versus Green Bay, and like I said, Denver versus New England, all tougher matchups versus position. Am I saying bench them? No, but I'm saying if you do have a better option, consider it, just so you guys can make better decisions, okay? Running backs, okay? This is very, very important, all right? When we're talking about guys that have good matchups, I want to make you aware, and I'll give you guys some guys tough matchups, okay? Good matchups. Pacheco versus Denver. Dameon Pierce actually has a good matchup this week. Gus Bus and the Ravens running backs, good matchup versus Arizona. Madison, he's been playing like garbage all year. Mediocre at best versus Green Bay. Good matchup, okay? Who else do we got here? We've got Breece Hall versus the Giants. Obviously, must start. Jahmyr Gibbs, I was talking about it. Great matchup versus Vegas. Hopefully, Montgomery sits out and Gibbs can really light it up. Now, Gibbs had an amazing week last week, and he was playing Baltimore. He had a tough matchup. Still did well. So, I can't even imagine how well he's going to do this week against Vegas. Look for a bounce-back week from Laporta and all these guys from the Lions for a big, angry bounce back game. Kamara's got a good matchup. ATN, he's been good. That's the guy I was wrong on. You can't get them all right. ATN, guys, versus Pittsburgh. Good matchup. And Austin Eckler, if he plays, I heard he's a little banged up, but he should be good to go. I heard he's playing versus Chicago. Guys that have it in tough, be aware. Brian Robinson, Jonathan Taylor, who's now getting in the groove. Am I sitting Taylor? No, I'm starting Taylor full flow. Just making you aware he's got a tough matchup. Jacobs versus Detroit, tough matchup. Derrick Henry, there's some trade rumors going around with him that he might get traded. But, hey, he's got a tougher matchup this week. Just be cautious. Najee, who's starting to kind of get in the groove. Tough matchup versus position this week versus Jacksonville. Joe Mixon versus San Fran. Be aware, I have no Mixon stock. I don't care. Aaron Jones, who's absolute trash. Told you to avoid Aaron Jones. Told you to avoid Mixon. They've been mediocre at best. And sure enough, they got tougher matchups this week and into NFL Week 8. Javonte versus KC, also tough matchup. All right, guys, DJ Moore, wide receiver. Moving on to wide receivers here. Good matchups. DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin versus Philly. A.J. Brown, good matchup. Zay Flowers versus Arizona. He's been pretty good. Young rookie, looking really good. Good matchup. We got Watson and Dobbs. I heard Christian Watson's a little banged up. Watch the injury report prior to the game. He should be playing, but him and Dobbs have it in tough versus Minnesota secondary. Have a good matchup. I apologize. Good matchup. Zay Flowers, good matchup. I'm reading the wrong thing. Watson, good matchup. Drake London, good matchup. Garrett Wilson, good matchup. And Rashee Rice versus Denver, great matchup. I mean, this is a week to start Rashee Rice. Tough. Who's got in tough at wide receiver? DK Metcalf, Marquise Brown. We got Adam Thielen, who's been consistent. Good, tough matchup versus Houston. Other tough matchups include CeeDee Lamb, Cooper Kupp versus Dallas. I told you Hopkins versus Atlanta. Again, with the quarterbacks there, man, it's going to be a disaster for Hopkins this week. You never know. He could be force-fed by Will Levis for all we know and could go off, but he's got it in tough. Addison's a must start, but he has it in tough versus Green Bay. Jerry Jeudy and Sutton. Sutton's been the more consistent out of the two. Tough matchup versus KC, and Amon-Ra St. Brown a little bit tougher versus position this week at wide receiver, okay? So again, just be aware. It's about knowing that Thielen's got a tough matchup. It's about knowing that Cooper Kupp versus Dallas is a tough matchup, but you don't necessarily sit these guys. But you're aware so that if you are doing starts and sits, you're looking at your starts and sits for NFL Week 8, you can now make a decision. Oh, I'm aware that, Thielen's got a tough matchup and Zay Flowers has got a good matchup. Okay, maybe I'll start Zay Flowers over Thielen if I'm torn on a decision, right? It's making decisions like that, right? So you guys are aware. All right, tight end. Guys, tight end, I say it all the time. Start your consistent guy. You need your 10 points out of him. But who's got it in tough? I'm going to make you aware right now. Mark Andrews, Hawkinson, Ingram. We got Kyle Pitts, got a tougher matchup versus position, and Njoku and Trey McBride, all tougher. McBride is playing Baltimore, all tougher matchups versus position. So if you've got a better option than Mark Andrews, maybe start him. If you got a better option than Hawkinson, you probably don't, a tight end, then you got to start him, okay? So it's about using common sense and playing it smart, okay? Defenses. Now, I'm going to give you the must starts along with the streamers all in one shot here. Again, drop a thumbs up, really helps the channel. Subscribe. And of course, guys, manscaped.com, ShowerLion20. Go treat yourself to the site. And of course, Better App. Make sure you guys are on there playing DFS. Use code FFC, BETR.app. Code FFC. Last plug there for the amazing sponsors of the show. Defenses, guys. Eagles. Great matchup. That's obvious. They're already probably on somebody's team. Ravens, 49ers. That goes without saying. Must starts, but they are in great matchups. So good defenses, great matchups, more points, right? Potentially. On paper, but it's fantasy. Lions versus Vegas could be a good matchup. Texans. Falcons, like I said, Falcons versus Tennessee. Tennessee without Tannehill It's going to be interesting, man. I mean, they're going to be rotating mediocre quarterbacks. It's going to be interesting. I do like the Jets versus the Giants as well there as a streaming defense, okay? Listen, NFL Week 8 is here. If you got any questions, drop a couple below. I'll try to get to them. Again, leave a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. But those are your must starts. And I've given you guys some guys with tough matchups as well. All right, guys? Drop your questions below. I will talk to you guys soon. Go out there, win Week 8. I know it's crucial for a lot of people. Every week is crucial for a lot of people with the craziness that is fantasy football 2023. Subscribe, thumbs up, guys. Have yourself an outstanding weekend. You know it. I'm out.